Alright, welcome back to Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. In this video we are going to be starting the newest Death Ball. We have here Coffee and Donuts, which is probably my favorite level in the game, maybe.
10 hours of gaming a day.
I mean, at least, Travis, you gotta do at least 10 hours. Otherwise, can you really consider yourself a gamer? So this one has a really great intro. This is one of my favorites. And again, I love how each one is like a different era, has like a different style to it. So I'm going to just let this intro play out. I absolutely love that intro. And also, this song is really good. But there's never any reason that you should stay on this menu screen. So you never get to hear it. It's crazy. The soundtrack's great. So this is Coffee and Donuts. This is a pretty great level. It can get a little confusing at times, but for the most part, it is a very enjoyable level. And it's just another one of those that is kind of very personal for Suda. So this one is kind of a side-scrolling level. You can see Badman's here with us, mostly just so we have someone to talk to. There's kind of some dialogue sections. At first I thought this was kind of a reference to Resident Evil, because you're in this big mansion and you have to keep unlocking doors and figure out where to go next. And I think it still could be a reference to Resident Evil, but it's most likely a reference to Clock Tower, which is a game made by Human Entertainment, which Suda worked for in his like very early days of making video games. The thing that really makes me think this is Clock Tower specifically really are the character portraits. They are very similar to how they are in that game. This song rules. It's probably my favorite song in the game. And I cannot say that it's not one of the main reasons why I love this level so much. I really love the dedication in this game to make each game feel like the game or the type of game that it is kind of homaging. Like, you can see this dialogue is not in character for like any of these guys. Badman and Travis are talking to each other so nicely, so amicably. Travis like really hasn't cursed. There's, you know, none of these characters are in character, but it's very much so how these games were in the 90s, specifically when they were like translated and brought over. The dialogue was really stilted and weird. So this is very much a Clock Tower style game. So this is the guy we saw in the intro, the amazing like PS1 style shitty CG intro, which is absolutely fantastic. We have to go into specific rooms. It's the big brown doors are the ones that we want to go into. And we have to find him coffee and donuts. Over here's a toilet. I'm going to be using this a lot, because this level's kind of long. It's a little confusing, but I was able to complete it pretty quickly. I don't think it's really that long of a level. So, I'm pretty sure the reason that they had Badman accompany you here is just so that the dialogue stuff wouldn't not make sense. Badman, as you can see just literally right there, Badman just kind of gets in the way. It's very bizarre. So just like the mansion sections, this part of the game, by the way, runs like absolute doo-doo ass. As you could see there. That wasn't like a weird capture card thing, that's just how the game ran. It's a side-scrolling thing. It's mostly beat 'em up. It's, I think, an enjoyable level. I can see why some people would not like this, but I think this is probably, at least so far, my favorite level in the game. I'm excited to replay a couple levels, because there were some other ones that I enjoyed. But I think this is going to be the highlight for me, just as it was the first time. So, I was talking about when we were doing Life is Destroy, that the silver case was coming out, and it released. It now has released. I bought it, and it is fantastic. It is genuinely, like, I cannot stop playing it. It's very, very good. It has both games, the 24th Ward and the silver case. I started with the silver case because it's the first one, but it's really good. It's, like, really damn good. I'm not a huge, like, visual novel adventure game kind of guy. You know, Ace Attorney is one of my favorite series. Snatcher is probably in, like, my top 30 games. And the silver case is very Snatcher. It feels like Snatcher, it sounds like Snatcher, and I'm really digging that. And I know Suda said at some point that he was inspired by Snatcher, and I know Suda worked on the, it was like a radio play version of Snatcher, so he is definitely a Snatcher fan, and I think you can very clearly tell that in the silver case. I love just the Travis's idle animation, so that scene ended and he was just playing with his dick. You know, one thing I will say, I didn't really notice the first time I played this, but I'm acutely aware of now, is that Travis just has the one beam katana the entire time. Which, you know, No More Heroes 1 and 2, you can switch them throughout the game. You have multiple beam katanas, but you only get the one in this game, which makes sense. There's no real reason to have multiple, but it kind of would have been nice if you had the option to maybe at least change the color of the blade. I think would have been nice. So, we got coffee, now we just need donuts. We're gonna just explore a little bit first before we go into the other door. I really cannot tell you how much I absolutely adore this song. Also, I was saying in the last level that I would love to see Suda direct just a straight horror game, because I think he'd be good at it, while I was wearing a Fatal Frame shirt, which is a game he directed, and it's a horror game. So, I don't know how I said something that stupid, but yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him do it again, you know. Why not? Just do it. Just do another one, Suda. Not only has the silver case come out, but I did finally get the limited run. Spielbug is a great name, by the way. I did receive the limited run Santa Destroy bundle of No More Heroes 1 and 2. They are much bigger than I thought they were going to be. I did a video on it if you want to check that out, my unboxing. I was seriously very surprised when I opened up the box and saw that they were huge, like PC boxes. But I've been replaying No More Heroes 2 because, you know, because that came out. And, yeah, man, every single thing that I used to think about that game is still true. Combat is good, possibly better than the first one, but everything else is not good. I mean, the story's fun. You know, I will always appreciate a story in a game. If you give me cutscenes in a game, it's like dangling keys in front of a baby. I've always said that, but I miss the open world Santa Destroy. I'm so glad that's coming back. The muscle training and stamina training in that game is maybe the worst thing in any video game ever. I hate it. I hate it so much. The jobs are so much worse. So yeah, that is like very clearly not as good as the first game, and it really just genuinely bothers me. Get the hell out of here. I hate these enemies so much. Get the fuck out of here. My god, why does it take so long to kill those guys? But yeah, I'm still overall enjoying No More Heroes 2. The levels are fun. They're very short, a lot shorter than I remembered. But the bosses are fun. The combat itself is just really great and fun to, fun to play. But yeah, all the other stuff just sucks so much. I hate it. It's such just so annoying. I don't remember if that game has a New Game Plus. If it does, I'm never ever gonna like start a new game on that again. Just have all the upgrades from the start and not have to worry about it. Yeah, man, I don't know how I did it in the Let's Play. Because it's just as frustrating back then on the Wii as it is now. But I was talking about this last time with Life is Destroyed, but I guess I'd like to kind of talk about it a little bit more. How this was kind of a very personal game for Suda. And it was his first game that he had directed himself since the original No More Heroes. You know, he was just kind of like a creative assistant or, executive on like No More Heroes 2, Lollipop Chainsaw, Killer is Dead, stuff like that. He didn't really have much direct involvement with. But this one, he just kind of wanted to go back to like how it used to be, which is why there's like only 10 people or so that worked on this game. It's a very small team, which is why the game is the way it is. Which I think is good. I think it's great. I love this game. And because of the small kind of aspect and how personal this was, he put a lot of himself into this game, and a lot of the levels can be construed as kind of going through a period of Suda's life. As I said, this level, Coffee and Donuts, is pretty clearly supposed to be the time that he was at Human Entertainment, making kind of weird games that didn't really reflect, I guess, who he would become. But the last level, I didn't mention it while we were playing it because I just forgot like what the general theory is, but it's so good I can't not talk about it. It was kind of his early days before he was in the game industries, kind of when he didn't really have a clear purpose. He didn't really know his path in life, which is why you literally had to create your own paths in that level, and you kept going from house to house that looked identical. It's just the kind of dead-end jobs that you would, find yourself in. Like, he was a mortician for a while, which I think is very funny. Just a lot of dead-end jobs. He was literally creating his own path, which I think is very, very interesting in terms of a level. And the fact that you had to create your own paths, I think, is pretty good. It's just a theory. Suda really hasn't talked about, like, this game's meaning. But I feel like that's pretty accurate to say. I feel like that's pretty dead on. So, I think that's pretty cool. And of course the guy just likes video games, so a lot of this can just be construed as, look, it's an homage to this game I like, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. I think it's both, if anything. It's like, hey, look at this video game that I like, and also, this means something to me, you know, as a part of my, my life. Can we level you up yet, Travis? Yes, we can. And we're going to set a new skill chip. We're going to get rid of the crappy one, and we're going to check out the new one, which I'll probably never use because it doesn't sound good. That one's bad. We're going to use this one because it's pretty helpful in this level. Gives you a little bit of a boost, but you can't do it yet. There you go. It refills very quickly, so you can keep doing it, which is, as Travis would say, moe. Alright, Travis, take your dump and then move on, please. Alright, so now we're just gonna revisit this room here. I just went past it. Badman! Get out of the goddamn way, man. So now we give him his coffee and donuts, and then that's it for him. So we are coming up on the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in Coffee and Donuts Part 2.